We chatted to you a couple of months ago. We know that you've been through some really, really tough times, but you're on the downhill. You're over halfway. You're looking good. How are things feeling at the moment?
Looking pretty positive. Really tough the last couple of weeks with some really relentless, big stormy conditions and pretty high-end 20 to 25, 30 knots trade winds, big seas. Lots of system failures with the battery banks and the autopilot going out, so it means that I was sort of on full time, which was pretty intense, and getting hammered at night in the middle of the night by big waves. But yeah, I've got through it, and I've learned to just be able to flow the elements a little bit better. So I'm not fighting it and running myself down. And I finally got a break in the weather of after 2 weeks of just relentless torture, to be perfectly honest. But, I try to take the positive out of the negative, and I'm still getting some really good mileage. And I really work at getting even half the mileage that I was when I was getting the big trade wind. So, and it's the first time I've been able to actually get to my hatches on deck to be able to try and empty out the water that they've been taking in. The craft's been listing to one side because they've been taking in water, but I haven't been able to open the hatches because my craft is pretty much underwater. My deck's underwater pretty much 90% of the time. So it's been quite scary thinking that you're taking in water and might be sinking for the last 2 weeks and not being able to do anything about it. But I also had to get into the hatches today and get some food out because I'd run out of food, and that's the only other place I'd stored food for the last part of the journey, and it also gives me time to do a stock take on how much I've got left, and it's going to be really, really tight getting to the end. But the good news about that is I've still got lots of coffee left, and I've got lots of protein shake mix, so I guess that's good incentive for me to paddle faster and be lighter, so I'll go faster anyway.
Chris, just a quick one. You mentioned last week to me via a message that you'd had an encounter with something with teeth. Lots of flying fish, I would imagine, in that part of the world as well. Lots of animal encounters.
Yeah, in my last captain's log before a couple of days ago, I said that I pretty much had everything on the journey and then some. And maybe I shouldn't have tempted fate by saying that, because literally 4 hours later, after I'd just come off shift, I'd gone for a quick swim, jumped out of the water, would set up the water maker to make some water while I was self-steering, and I just out of the corner of my eye saw something really, really big and dark coming at the aft quarter of the empty fish at speed, and just managed to brace myself and turn around in time to see a very, very large great white shark coming at the rudder. I think it was sort of coming in for a surprise attack. Great whites generally they follow the same sort of migration routes across the Atlantic as the turtles, and has the same sort of migration that I'm doing, using the same currents and what have you. And normally they feed and they prey at dusk and dawn. So because the visibility is so crystal clear, if they're going to attack something in the day, they normally attack from deep at speed. And I think just at the last second, he obviously realized that it wasn't what he thought I was, and made an alternative direction, literally just as he was about to hit me in the craft. I think he was going for my rudder. And then as he just turned around to obviously just miss it, because he realized that I probably wasn't what he thought I was, he obviously turned around sharply to maybe take another go at me, and I think he was expecting me, as in the craft and the empty fish, to react like any sort of prey and escape. But obviously, because I'm a craft and I just carried on the same way, nothing changed. I think it realized that it wasn't something that was very tasty and edible, and it didn't want to damage his teeth, and he sort of swam off very aggressively, turned around as if he was going to come back, and then swished. And it left me a little shaken, a little stirred, and I grabbed my deck knife out of its sheath very, very quickly, and was standing on the ready, but holding on to my craft for dear life, because the size of the fish, even though he wasn't the biggest of great white sharks, he was still probably a mid-sized adult in the sort of 15-foot range. And if you think of a 15-foot great white shark, when you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on a 19-foot craft, it's only 4 feet smaller than you are and almost as wide. And no matter no matter if it's a mid-sized one or large one, it's big enough to be able to take a very large chunk out of the craft, force you to possibly sink if it really by mistake got the better of you. So I'm really glad it was a rather positive encounter. It took me probably about half an hour before I actually put my knife back in the sheath. I turned the GoPro on to try and get some footage of what happened afterwards and my face and do a little interview. But just you take the positive from the negative, and I'm glad he attacked the steering system, because that would have left me with some more challenges to deal with. And it was probably a rather positive encounter. And when he switched actually underneath the craft, he was so close to me I could have leaned in and actually touched him. He was so massive and beautiful and majestic. He was in a very aggressive mode when he came into attack, but as he swam away, it was just beautiful to watch him glide off into the distance, even though I was a little shaken. But it seems like I've pretty much seen every heat you can possibly imagine. I ended up swimming with some dolphins yesterday evening just before sunset. I had a full moon last night. I paddled last night, and then had a beautiful sunrise this morning as the moon was setting on the other side of the moon. So I've had pretty much everything over the last couple of days. It's been battling with miles. My shoulders become quite a problem with my rotator cuff, but I'm having lots of anti-inflammatories, and hopefully that'll get me through to the other side anyway.
Okay, Chris, that's absolutely amazing, that encounter with the white shark. But it just is another element, I think, to this trip that is just inspiring so many South Africans, so many people from all over the world. So many big wave surfers are starting to listen. I was at the Discovery World Triathlon in Cape Town this weekend. So many triathletes came up to me and said, we've been listening to your interview with Chris Bertish that you did last month or 2 months ago. When are you doing another one? This journey of yours is inspiring so many people around the world, Chris, and that's got to make you feel that this is all really positive. This is worth it.
Yeah, Jeff, it has been tough for 3 years to make it happen, and it's taken everything to be able to put it together just to get to the start line. And, I realized what an impact it would make, but I didn't realize how many people it would inspire all around the world. And obviously that's my passion, and that's my purpose, and that's what I do besides raising money for charity for this project. And I'm just really glad that this project is able to get out to such a broad audience and connect and make such an impact on people. And at the end of the day, it just goes to show you, if you believe in something and you're powered by your passion and driven by your purpose, which is greater than yourself, that you really believe in something, you become an unstoppable force, and anything's possible if you've got the determination and the perseverance to keep on going and never give up.
Chris, I know that your sat batteries are limited, but you did mention that the ocean environment was slightly cleaner the further you got away from Morocco. Has it still improved? Is it continuing to improve? What have you seen the most of?
Yeah, Jeff, I think that's one thing that's been very, very prominent, and especially as you get to sort of the 1,000-mile marker, which I'm at sort of 3 or 4 days ago. I've just cracked 900 nautical miles to Antigua as of this morning, so I'm about 23 to 25 days away. And, that's a big milestone, because I'm 3/4 of the way through my journey. I've paddled 3,000 nautical miles, which is about 5,500 kilometers. I've got just under 1,000 nautical miles to go, which is about 1,500 kilometers. And the sea state has definitely smoothed out a lot. I'm now in the trades, where things do tend to get a lot smoother. I'm not as affected by the big swells that you get from the North Atlantic low pressure storms anymore. Now I'm starting to just get the fetch swells from due east of me, coming from Africa. So it's all sort of coming in right behind me, and I think the next sort of 10 days forecast I've got is fairly light, 10 to 15 knot conditions from right behind me, with the sea state behind me. So everything sort of is moving in the right direction, and should get a little bit easier. I managed to fix the leaks in my craft, sponge out all the water, which is concerning me. I should have just enough food to be able to get me to the end, and it's just amazing to see the sea state and the ocean around me change almost on an hourly basis.